What's going on, everybody? Alberto again here for week 4 of Internship 1. This week we are working on assignment 4, and for this assignment we will be working with a 56-year-old female who has multiple sclerosis, and we will be teaching this participant the skill of the water exercise of low impact jumping jacks. Hope you guys enjoy. In this video, I'll talk about different barriers that could prevent the participant from participating in this activity, both within the environment and in the facility. I'll then go over different accommodations that could be made to promote inclusivity for this individual to be able to participate in this activity. I'll then discuss different adaptive equipment that is used for this activity, which is water exercise, and we will teach the skill of doing low impact jumping jacks. And finally, I'll provide different community resources for the individual and their family. Some individuals with multiple sclerosis may use different mobility equipment to aid them when maneuvering around a facility. These could include walkers, wheelchairs, and scooters. So, with that being said, it is imperative for the facility to have ramps for individuals using these different mobility equipments to be able to use to get up steps, since they may not be able to use stairs. For all entrances and exits on all doors, having thresholds for the individual to be able to maneuver into and out of different parts of the facility, and also making sure that the bathrooms and locker rooms are big enough to accommodate a individual using one of these mobility equipment for assistance to be able to get around. Stairs could also be an issue within the pool too if the participant has to use stairs to be able to get in and out of the pool, because as multiple sclerosis progresses, it could potentially affect an individual's mobility, especially in their legs. So it could be difficult for them to step onto stairs to exit and enter into a pool. So it's important for these pools to have ADA compliant pool lifts to be able to put the individual into the pool and take them out of the pool when they're ready to come out. Continuing on mobility, it could also be a problem if the pool is very far from areas like the bathroom or the locker room, because it all depends on the individual, but facilities should take this into account that if the pool is too far, it may be difficult for the individual to be able to walk that far distance to get to the part of the facility they want to get to. So the facility itself has to ensure that the distances between these areas are very relatively close to each other, so the individual can get to the pool from the bathroom or locker room at easy access and without being worried they might tire themselves out. Also, after looking at a research study that I found online while completing my assignment, I also found that several individuals with multiple sclerosis said that the temperature of the pool itself could also be a factor while they're participating. Some individuals got flare ups or cramping in their muscles if the water was either too hot or too cold. So, when working with these participants, you should make sure that the water in the pool itself is adequate and at a perfect temperature for them to create an environment where they are very comfortable in, and they'll be able to perform these different exercises that you throw at them at ease without them having to be worried about potentially have a cramp in one of their limbs or a flare up and they may not be able to complete the activity. There are different accommodations that could be made to accommodate this activity for a particular individual, especially when doing water exercise. How long certain reps are could be one way to accommodate by decreasing the number of reps while increasing the number of sets. So, what I mean by that is instead of doing low impact jumping jacks for 30 seconds for 3 sets, you could minimize it and do like 4 sets of 20 seconds instead, or 6 sets of 10 seconds instead, depending on the individual's skill level at doing this activity and depending on health wise of how much their multiple sclerosis has affected them. That's one way you could accommodate the activity. This creates a sense of the participant being able to feel that they are still completing the activity or the task and be able to maximize it and not feel like they're being hindered because they're doing less of it, but they're doing the same amount just in more sets but in less time. Also, adaptive equipment could also be provided to accommodate this individual. So, in the case that the individual has multiple sclerosis and may not know how to swim, or they may not have the strength, mobility wise, to be able to swim in the water, the activity leader can provide them with a flotation device or a flotation belt so the participant can stay afloat while trying to complete these different tasks and during the activity. This just allows the individual to be able to do the activity and still have the peace of mind of not having to worry about thinking of possibly drowning or possibly not being able to do the activity at their fullest or have an equal opportunity to do it just because they can't swim or because they lack the strength in their lower limbs, mobility wise, to be able to stay afloat. So these devices allow them to still be able to participate in activity and be able to maximize what they can do during the activity. A flotation device can be provided by the activity leader. The activity leader could also move the activity into shallower depths within the pool and not go into the pool so deep. This might lower the amount of resistance during the exercises, but at least the individual or the participant can still be able to engage in the activity and do whatever task the activity leader asks them to do. Just giving the participant equal opportunity to be able to do the activity and providing them to have a confidence to be able to do it and not be potentially uncomfortable. It just makes them comfortable throughout the activity. The activity leader could also adjust the movement of the exercise they're trying to do with the participants in the activity. Because since multiple sclerosis, depending on how long an individual has had it, or depending on the severity of it, it could affect the individual's mobility and the individual's motor function since the myelin sheath on the neuron depletes itself, so the sensory info trying to get through the neuron isn't sometimes able to go all the way through, so it could possibly reduce the individual's ability to make certain movements. By adjusting the movement of an exercise, so like for an example, a low impact jumping jack, if the individual isn't able to stretch their leg out to the side long enough, you could just tell them to stretch it out as far as they can and just bring it back just to make the individual comfortable and allow the individual still to be able to complete the exercise and go through the activity at ease and not cause them to be uncomfortable throughout the activity and possibly not make them want to come and do it again. Now, there are some adaptive equipment that can be used when conducting an activity like water exercise and performing the tasks like low impact jumping jacks. A good piece of adaptive equipment would be a flotation device, such as a flotation belt. This could be beneficial for individuals with multiple sclerosis, as sometimes, depending on the individual and the severity of their multiple sclerosis, they could lose some mobility and some strength in their lower limbs. So it could be hard for them to be able to swim or stay afloat without a device like that. So with a flotation device, it allows the individual, like I said before, to be able to fully participate in the activity and have equal opportunity to be able to engage in it as well. Another piece of adaptive equipment that I thought could be good for this activity as well, I've gone over it before too, is ADA compliant pool lift. These lifts could aid individuals who may not be able to use a ladder due to multiple sclerosis, being able to put them into the pool and take them out of the pool at ease, so it creates an ease of access for them to be able to participate in the activity. The flotation belts range between $30 to $50 depending on where you're buying it from, and the pool lifts range between $2,000 to $7,000. Just make sure that the pool lift is ADA compliant, and you could also find different ways of fun to be able to purchase a pull lift. So now I'm going to provide several different community resources that could be useful for the individual and their family. The Multiple Sclerosis Foundation is a foundation that provides free services to individuals with multiple sclerosis, their family, and their caretakers. They have local chapters here in Florida, such as one in Fort Lauderdale. They provide a plethora of events that include educational conferences and social gatherings. They also have a scholarship and grant fund to provide funds for an individual's post-secondary education. The National Multiple Sclerosis Society is a society that fights to find the cure for multiple sclerosis and better the lives of individuals with it. They provide a plethora of resources, including medical facilities and support groups. There are several local support groups here in South Florida, which include the MS Amigos and the North Broward Multiple Sclerosis Afternoon Group. The Multiple Sclerosis Association of America is an association that fights for the bettering of lives of individuals with multiple sclerosis, their family, and their caretakers. They have several different programs which include providing free mobility equipment and assistive technology. They also have a fund where they provide funding to individuals who can't afford health insurance. They also have an online forum for individuals within the multiple sclerosis community to communicate with one another. The Overcoming Multiple Sclerosis community is a community that focuses on educating others about multiple sclerosis and giving confidence to individuals with multiple sclerosis to live their lives to the fullest. They have several different events and fundraisers that aim to raise awareness to others about multiple sclerosis. They also provide different support groups online that aim to encourage and guide individuals with multiple sclerosis with others within the community. Now I'll be showing you how to perform the water exercise of low impact jumping jacks. This water exercise is supposed to be performed in a pool or open space of water, but due to the pandemic, we don't have access to a pool right now, so we're doing it right now in my backyard. The starting position for this exercise will be anatomical position, with your feet shoulder width apart and your hands and the palms of them facing outward on the sides of your body. Once you begin, raise both your arms up in the air as if you're doing a jumping jack, but instead of jumping, you'll pull one of your legs out laterally as far as you can. Now bring your body back to starting position and lift your arms over your head again and lunge out your other foot. Make sure not to lunge too far out or else you may cause injury. Now, once you put it all together, this is how it should look. Every time you bring your arms up, your legs should go out laterally, and every time your arms go down, you should bring your legs back medially. You should try to aim to do this exercise about 3 sets for 30 seconds. If you can't do it for 30 seconds, that's fine. You can lower the duration of the set. Keep in mind that as you're doing this in water, there'll be a lot more resistance on your lower limbs, which is better because it's building up more muscle and building up more strength in your lower limbs. In order to keep your back straight and your core engaged, this exercise is also good for building core muscle strength as well. As I stated earlier in the video, if you may not know how to swim or you don't have the mobility strength to be able to kick yourself up and stay afloat, you can always ask to be provided with a flotation device, such as a flotation belt, to keep you afloat while performing the exercise. If a flotation device can't be provided, you can always move to shallower water to be able to conduct this activity as well. With that, I've taught you how to perform the water exercise of the low impact jumping jack. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope you guys are able to perform it in the near future when we all have access to a pool. Thank you guys for watching the video.